Kala Lalwa Wadla Yahweh Basham Shai Basham Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule and teach well, peace and salutations to the brothers and the four corners of the city, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. But I'm not to talk here with another video, In short and direct to the point. I have an article here titled An Economic Earthquake as an economic earthquake. US move puts nearly 300,000 Chinese students on the edge of deportation. Right? Rubio said the State Department will enhance scrutiny of all future applicants from China and Hong Kong while halting new appointments for student and exchange visas. So they're looking to crack down even more on Chinese nationals entering, even the ones who are already in the system, in the education system over there. Right? It says nearly 300,000 Chinese students in the US now face sudden legal limbo as Trump administration under Secretary of State Marco Rubio begins revoking visas and tightening scrutiny in an aggressive new policy targeting ties to the Chinese Communist Party and sensitive academic fields. The sweeping crackdown announced Wednesday marks a seismic shift in U.S. visa policy. Rubio said the State Department will enhance scrutiny of all future applications from China and Hong Kong, while halting new appointments for student and exchange visas. Yeah, so they're where you come in to study in the country and then go back home to possibly build this stuff that to fight against the country. I suppose that is probably the way the mindset is, but the US is basically built in China. Well, currently, I don't want to say built in, it was built on fucking slavery. It was built by the slavery of the natives, the Latinos, and the black, the Negroes, for lack of better terms. Right? The so-called African Americans, so-called. Right? But everything in America, even everything here in Trinidad and Tobago is more or less, let's say, made in China, to be honest with you. So, that is why they say, economic earthquake and true. So the decision is hard. Chinese students make up nearly a quarter of all international students in the US, and their sudden exclusion threatens not just lives and academic dreams, but the financial lifeblood of American universities. Institutions that rely on full tuition international students now face massive budget gaps, potential program cuts, and weakened research funding. Yeah. So now even the locals or the citizens of the US, people who born and grow in, the US, people with US citizenship who born there, not just migrants, People who born in the US, they wouldn't have the chances of such programs because, as it's written, is the foreign students who does really funded the tuition from them. Right? They said this isn't just a visa policy, it's an academic and economic earthquake, and said a senior admissions officer at a major public university. The crackdown's ripple effects extend beyond campus walls. Students in the US describe rising fear and confusion, with some preparing to leave mid-degree. Many say they feel unfairly labeled as national security threats, and others fear retaliation for speaking out. I'm not political. I came to study robotics. Now I don't know if I'll be a graduate student at MIT who asked not to be named for safety. The policy cites national security risks from alleged Communist Party ties and critical fields of study, but offers few definitions, raising fears of arbitrary enforcement Civil liberty groups warn that academic freedom and free speech may be collateral damage, especially for students active in campus protests or human rights campaigns. China, which had 277,398 students last year, has not formally responded, but diplomats have previously called such measures discriminatory and warned it could damage educational and cultural exchanges. Yeah, you understand? But I just being proud. He don't care that he shaking up the economy. He okay about the poor man. Because the poor man who does really benefit from them, you know what I mean, from them goods when they really think about it. Everything already made in China, but you know what I mean, the knockoffs, the so on, the so forth. It's really the poor man stand to benefit, Them is billionaires, them really could care less. You understand? Like the pride, our pride go, you know what I mean? That's what will sink the ship. Right? The Habakkuk 2, now we'll start at 4. It says, Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarged his desires hell, and is as dead, and cannot be satisfied, but guarded unto him all nations, and he put unto him all people. Yeah, the more foretold in every country on the planet. Starting to reap the resources, to have partnerships to get them the shitty ends of the stick as they always do. And while they eat the fatness of the earth. I mean, that's what the Edomites are blessed with. So, you know what I mean? All in all, they're just doing what they're known to do. That is in the nature. you know? Wow. Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that leadeth himself with thick clay. The thick clay is to symbolize the debt. Because we know they need $33 trillion in debt. You understand? And some of that debt. And I want to believe that most of that debt is owed to China. You understand? I would really like to believe that, and I believe it is. I believe they do owe China a good amount of money. You understand? That is what the crashing of the dollar is really based. The whole point of crashing the dollar is so that they could eradicate that debt from over the head. Because remember, that is a proud people. The nation is a proud nation. You understand? The Edomites. You understand? They push that pride, that proud American, so on and so forth. That's how they walk around the place with. You know what I mean? With the nose in the air. This kind of way. They pump us. You understand? So to have to hold yourself in such a high regard, but the whole world know you own the whole world. You understand? You own the whole world, right? Everything you have come from other countries. The way you say he hate to keep at home. You understand? He to himself all nations and all people. You understand? They have a base a base here, a base there, that they occupy a lot of countries. Right? Verse 7. Shall they not rise up, shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the vanity, and of all that dwell therein here. Because I mean to say, look at what you're doing. You understand? They're going to back. That is this what you're doing here this is not if, it's just when it's going to backfire, because it will backfire. Right? I was watching another video with two Edomites. The one who being interviewed and the interviewer, and the one who's being interviewed telling him, China has one of the biggest shipbuilding capacities on the planet, right? Way more than the US. You understand? So the interviewee, or the person who being interviewed, asking the interviewer, he say, how much times more you think their capacity is bigger than ours here at the US. You know, in the interview I watch him, he say, wait, no, I mean, this is like, all right, you think it's what, 100 times more, 10 times more, you understand? The man like him nobody 350 times more. That is the shipbuilding capacity of China. So if all they go to war over the water, they can mash up how much ship all they want, they'll just make more. They can make it faster than all they. You understand? And rather have having them as ally, pride have the, you know what I mean? But this is prophecy. This is prophecy. And you trying to shaft them. You understand? So they will retaliate. It's just when, not if no more. Not if, just when. Right? Verse 9, it says, woe to him that covet an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. You understand? Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. Yeah. You understand? You covered your covetousness. You understand? Because why you want to set your nest on high, you want to be above everybody. You understand? You want to be on top. You want to be as an eagle. Right? Who unto you and that. And this is what's going to be the downfall in the long run. The pride. The pride is going to make them run straight into the snake. Right? There's Isaiah 14. And here I go start from 9. It say, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It had raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Yeah, because why? Look at what they're doing. All the severing ties, all they're dealing treacherously with all their own. You understand? And I couldn't find the precept for it, but I know it have a precept where they talk about he willing to basically use you as collateral damage just to get what you want now, but you know what I mean? That man now, but I couldn't find it. But I go that just means I have to refreshen up, you know what I mean? Sharpen back up, that is all I mean. Verse 11, it said, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Yeah, that is what, that goes back into your data as well. You understand? Data is in DEBT, you know, Owen. You understand? You have no worth. You understand? Your debt, your debt is what will cover you. You know? But your pride go try to cover that. You understand? And it would make, and that is where they're going to usher in the digital system for, you know, to push that data aside or kill that data in the roads. Because I mean, I can't pay in mangoes if the bill was in cherries. And if I destroy all the cherry trees on the planet, we gotta call that dead, right? That is the whole concept more or less they're moving with, you know? So yeah, that was just it on this video. Hope it was edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yeshai Bashem Kakadash. Until next time, Shalom.